When I design a motorcycle, I design it with the intention of traveling quite a bit on it, and having broken down a few times before I realized how important it is accessing problematic areas. Usually it'll be wiring related rather, not necessarily wires themselves, but the connectors, relays, fuses, miscellaneous stuff like that. It is important to be able to access all those parts, even roadside if need be, with a limited amount of tools. As with my every build, this being my number 17, I get better and better at simplifying the mounting of parts, and better yet, don't hide electrical components such as connectors, relays, or anything like that under parts that have to be removed. Leave them in plain sight. I'm not offended by functional parts that make it go, and especially if they start smoking or they are on fire. I'd rather have very quick access and a quick visual to the parts. That being said, I'm going to field strip this motorcycle as if it had a problem, and I'm trying to find it. Well, mainly because I got to disassemble the bike anyway for painting purposes. So I'm going to start off with the front fairing, and then move on to the seat, and then the tank will be last. Let's see how long it takes, even though I'm sort of cheating a little bit because some of the hardware have already been removed, even though it doesn't require much hardware. The seat itself requires 2 circlips or hitch pins, and the front fairing requires 4 screws that I already loosened 2 of them up, and then hitch pin also. So why don't we start and see how long it takes us? I guarantee you 5 minutes tops. Okay, help me. And those what retains the fairing in place as secondary. The main fairing stays. All it requires is a safety pin, if you will. And once that's done, the whole fairing can slide off. As you can see, it's retained by this receptacle that fits around. Well, why don't I'm gonna set this down and show you. It's retained by the square tube, and it took quite a bit of finicking to make sure everything clears one way or the other. And that is one of the challenges of having a frame-mounted fairing. Now let's remove the seat, which has its retainers already removed, so it should pop right back off. And just like that, the seat is off. If you've seen one of my previous episodes, you'll know that these rubber bushings are also trapping the seat onto the frame and preventing it from moving left or right. And these are the retaining pins right here. But the pockets that encircle the bushings are what keeps the seat stable. And now the fuel tank is ready to come off. It's retained by nothing but the seat in the rear, and it's sitting on rubber bushing, so it prevents cracks from vibration. Aluminum is very susceptible to vibration, does not like it, so it has to be wall insulated. But because the seat is now out of the way, the tank is ready to be to come off. and it's retained by these two um, half a circles, if you will. It's very lightweight. If I mentioned before, this was made for it is styled after Norton Manx fuel tanks, but this one is made to fit a Honda frame. Even the petcock area is set up for a Honda petcock. Okay, and that's about it for this motorcycle. Looks like it's ready to be worked on. Whatever may be in the way, cables, wires, carburetors. You don't have to remove any of this stuff for a typical headlight replacement or tail light or carburation fixings or anything. But it's good to know that I can field strip the motorcycles in minutes if need be, and keep that in mind next time you build a custom motorcycles. And with that, we'll talk later. Bye bye.